What if the very qualities you believe make you good, kindness, softness, innocent trust, are the same qualities that are slowly destroying you? What if every disappointment, betrayal, and humiliation you've suffered wasn't fate, but the price of being too breakable in a world that rewards the cold? Today we face a brutal problem. You are being shattered by a world you were never trained to survive. Machiavelli left a warning for exactly this moment, and it might be the only thing that saves you. In this lesson we turn to the ruthless wisdom of Niccolo Machiavelli, a man who understood human ambition more clearly than most ever will. He teaches us that power does not belong to those who hope the world will be kind. It belongs to those who understand its true nature. This script will show you how to become unbreakable, not cruel, not heartless, but strategically cold. Cold enough to stop being manipulated, used, or shattered by people who sense weakness faster than you realize. If you have ever felt taken for granted, emotionally drained, or crushed by the weight of other people's agendas, this is the transformation you need. The world rewards the hardened, not the soft. Machiavelli understood this long before the modern world disguised its power games behind polite smiles and polite words. He observed humanity in its raw form, ambition uncovered, self-interest exposed, alliances built not on loyalty but on opportunity. And he saw one truth that many still refuse to accept: softness without strategy does not make you noble, it makes you expendable. The world may admire your kindness, but it will never protect you for it. In fact, it often punishes the gentle, because gentleness without boundaries signals that you can be bent, persuaded, pressured, and used. Imagine for a moment you are watching two figures step into a council chamber. One is warm, accommodating, eager to be liked. The other walks with a controlled, measured presence, his face calm, his mind quiet, his decisions uncolored by emotion. It is obvious from the moment they enter who will dominate the room. Not because he is cruel, not because he is loud, but because coldness, true coldness, is felt. It is the aura of someone who cannot be manipulated. It is the posture of someone who cannot be destabilized by others' expectations. It is the presence of a person who no longer apologizes for their own strength. Machiavelli writes that men are ungrateful, fickle, false, not to insult humanity, but to remind you that most people operate with one question in their minds: what serves me? This is not evil. This is human nature. And if you navigate the world as if everyone is guided by virtue, you will continuously find yourself miscalculating. The soft miscalculate constantly. They expect reciprocity where there is only convenience. They expect loyalty where there is only benefit. They expect fairness where there is only ambition. The hardened, however, expect nothing except what they create through strength, clarity, and an unshakable inner core. Being soft in a world like this is not a moral position. It is a vulnerability. Every manipulator senses softness instantly. They test you. They push the edge. They observe how quickly you bend under discomfort. And once they see you fold, they never forget it. Your softness becomes their leverage. Your inability to say no becomes their entitlement. Your fear of disappointing others becomes the rope they use to pull you in their direction. Soft people often mistake tolerance for virtue. They think letting things go is mature. They think absorbing the burdens of others is noble. They think adapting endlessly is a form of strength. But Machiavelli would argue the opposite. The more you tolerate, the more you teach the world that you are safe to overstep. The more you adapt, the more people expect you to adapt again. The more you absorb, the more you lose pieces of yourself until there is nothing left but exhaustion disguised as humility. You must understand this. The world is not shaped by the gentle, but by the unbreakable. Those who do not bow under pressure gain power by contrast. Their coldness becomes clarity. Their boundaries become armor. Their silence becomes authority. It is not that they are immune to emotion. It is that they do not allow emotion to dictate the ground they stand on. They may care deeply, but they do not give away that care cheaply. They may love fully, but they do not surrender their identity within that love. They may be generous, but never at the cost of their own stability. This is what it means to be hardened. Not cruel, not ruthless without reason, but deliberate, strategic, rooted in reality rather than idealism. Machiavelli observed, time and time again, that leaders who tried to gain power through kindness alone always fell. Those who sought admiration instead of respect always became pawns in someone else's game. Those who wanted to be loved more than they wanted to be strong were destroyed by the very people they tried to please. People love the idea of kindness, but they follow the presence of strength. Love without strength is fragile. Strength without love can still command loyalty. And when you combine the two, when you become a person of warmth and steel, you rise above most of humanity. To be hardened means you know where to stop giving. You know when to step away. You know which conflicts deserve your fire and which deserve your silence. You know the difference between compassion and self-sacrifice. The soft often give until they are empty, and when they finally break, the world rarely pauses to acknowledge it. But the hardened never reach that point. They give within the limits they set. They help without abandoning themselves. They care without letting care be used as a weapon against them. Picture yourself standing in the center of your life, surrounded by people who have expectations of you, some fair, others not. The soft version of you tries to maintain harmony. The hardened version of you evaluates. The soft version fears saying no. The hardened version recognizes that every yes you give without thought weakens you. The soft version avoids conflict at any cost. The hardened version understands that avoiding conflict often creates far more damage than facing it directly. Machiavelli would ask you a simple question. Do you want to be remembered as someone who broke every time pressure arrived, or someone who became pressure resistant? The world respects the person who cannot be easily swayed. It seeks their counsel. It fears their absence. It values their presence. Because coldness, true coldness, is not the absence of emotion, but the mastery of it. Emotion is a weapon only when controlled. Machiavelli understood that the greatest victories in life are rarely won by force alone, but by the quiet, disciplined mind that refuses to be ruled by impulse. He observed rulers who rose not because they were the strongest, but because they were the most composed. And he watched others lose everything, simply because they allowed one moment of anger, fear, or desire to shape decisions that would haunt them for years. You have lived this truth as well. Think about the times your emotions pulled you into battles you should have ignored, into relationships you should have avoided, into arguments you should have walked away from. Each moment proves Machiavelli right. Emotion is not your enemy, but the lack of command over it is. Picture a flame. Uncontrolled, it burns your home to ash. Controlled, it forges steel. Your emotions are that flame. Uncontrolled, they make you reckless. Controlled, they make you powerful. People often pretend emotion is a sign of authenticity, as if reacting instantly makes you more honest or more human. But Machiavelli would laugh at that idea. Authenticity means nothing if it destroys you. Honesty means nothing if it weakens your position. What matters is mastery. Mastery over yourself before mastery over anything else. Look at the people who have the greatest influence over you. It is not always their words that affect you, it is the emotions they trigger. A person who can make you angry controls your reaction. A person who can make you feel guilty controls your choices. A person who can make you feel insecure controls your identity. This is why Machiavelli warns that the one who cannot command emotion becomes the puppet of the world. Every person you meet becomes a potential puppeteer, tugging at strings you didn't realize you'd exposed. Yet you are not meant to suppress emotion. That is a misunderstanding that weak minds cling to. Coldness is not emotional death. It is emotional discipline. It is the ability to feel everything without letting anything dictate the course of your life. When you become cold in the Machiavellian sense, you no longer react immediately. You no longer explode under pressure. You no longer let your fear decide what you attempt or your anger decide what you destroy. You become the person who pauses, calculates, interprets, and then acts from a position of clarity rather than chaos. Think about the leaders throughout history who remained unshaken while the world fell apart around them. They were not emotionless, they were emotionally fortified, and because of that, they could see opportunities in moments where others saw only panic. When a crisis struck, they didn't drown in anxiety, they rode the wave. When luck turned against them, they didn't crumble, they adapted. Their strength came from the fact that no inner storm could overpower their mind. You too have moments where your emotion has blinded you, whether in love or betrayal or ambition. You let your temper turn your tongue into a weapon that wounded people you cared about. You let fear stop you from pursuing something you were meant to have. You let attachment make you stay where you should have walked away. Machiavelli teaches that the first battlefield is not the world outside you, it is the world inside you, and until you can command your internal battlefield, you will never win the external ones. Imagine someone insults you. The soft mind reacts instantly. It lashes out. It tries to defend its ego. It escalates what should have been ignored. But the disciplined mind, the Machiavellian mind, does something else. It evaluates. Is the insult a threat or a distraction? Is the person worth the energy? Is the reaction beneficial or costly? Most of the time, the wisest move is not retaliation, but indifference. Indifference is a kind of power people rarely understand, because when you do not react, the one who tried to provoke you becomes powerless. Their weapon becomes useless. Their attempt falls flat. Now imagine someone you care about disappoints you deeply. The soft mind reacts with either rage or surrender. It clings or it collapses. But the disciplined mind allows the emotion to move through it without letting it decide the next step. It observes the hurt, understands it, acknowledges it, then acts based on reality rather than pain. This is what makes you dangerous. Not the absence of feeling, but the refusal to let feeling control your path. Machiavelli would tell you that people who cannot control their emotions end up controlled by anyone who can manipulate them. They lose time, energy, reputation, and opportunity because they gave the world access to their internal buttons. But once you learn to become emotionally disciplined, those buttons disappear. The world can push, but nothing moves you unless you choose to move. You must become the person who feels everything but reacts to little. The person who listens more than they speak. The person who observes before they commit. The person whose mind remains clear even when their heart is on fire. When you reach this level of inner strength, you do not become cold like a corpse. You become cold like a blade, sharp, controlled, and deadly when used with precision. The most dangerous people are not those who feel nothing, but those who do not allow their feelings to rewrite their judgment. You gain freedom when you gain mastery. You gain power when you gain composure. And you gain unshakable presence when you learn to turn emotion from something that commands you into something that serves you. Mercy without boundaries creates monsters. Machiavelli understood that the world is not kind to those who give without measure, and that generosity without strategy can be a path to destruction. There is a subtle danger in mercy that the soft-hearted rarely perceive. When you forgive those who intend harm, when you give chances to those who will betray, when you protect those who seek to exploit you, you are not practicing virtue. You are training the world to take advantage of you. Every unearned pardon, every uncalculated act of kindness becomes a lesson in weakness for those who watch you. They learn exactly what they can do, exactly how far they can push, and exactly when you will bend to their will, and they will test those boundaries relentlessly. Imagine a man in power who forgives too freely, who grants favors without consideration, who assumes the loyalty of those around him. At first it seems admirable, noble even. People praise him for his generosity. They say he has a good heart. But the reality is far different. The same people who praise him will also push against his limits. They will take liberties, exploit opportunities, and act against his interests, all under the guise of friendship, gratitude, or service. Mercy, when offered without judgment, is interpreted as weakness. It becomes a license for the ambitious, a free pass for the unscrupulous, and the very qualities that were meant to elevate the generous man become the instruments of his downfall. Machiavelli observed that humans are not naturally loyal, nor do they act out of honor unless it aligns with their advantage. This is why he insists that prudence and strategy must accompany mercy. To forgive without forethought is to sow the seeds of future betrayal. To trust without discernment is to invite manipulation. To spare indiscriminately is to give power to those who will use it against you. The wise ruler, therefore, does not abandon mercy, he refines it. He understands when kindness will build alliances, when leniency will strengthen loyalty, and when firmness will protect his position. Mercy becomes a tool, not a default. It is applied with precision, timing, and consequence. Consider the consequences of misplaced mercy. You face someone who has betrayed you, undermined your authority, or acted in bad faith. Your instinct may be to forgive, to hope that human decency will prevail. But history shows a different pattern. Those who are spared frequently return with sharper ambition, bolder schemes, and fewer qualms about breaking the same rules again. They interpret mercy not as generosity, but as opportunity. They see a man who hesitates to punish, a leader who fears confrontation, a figure whose goodwill is conditional on the restraint of others, and they exploit that perception with devastating efficiency. The lesson is clear: mercy without boundaries is self-betrayal. True strength does not come from relentless punishment, but from the ability to measure and direct it. The strongest leaders wield mercy like a scalpel, not a hammer. They distinguish between those who can be guided and those who must be restrained. They forgive only when it serves their stability and reinforces the rules of engagement. They punish only when necessary, and they punish decisively. The world respects decisiveness, not vacillation. It respects a leader who sets the standard and enforces it consistently, not someone whose generosity invites contempt. Machiavelli would ask you to reflect on your own life. How often have you allowed people to step over your boundaries in the name of compassion? How often have you protected someone who had no intention of honoring your trust? How often have you assumed that kindness would prevent harm, only to discover that it encouraged it? These are not accidents, they are predictable consequences of mercy untempered by strategy, and they are preventable if you adopt a more disciplined approach to the people and situations around you. To survive, to thrive, and to maintain your position, you must learn the balance between generosity and judgment. Mercy is not the absence of firmness. It is the art of knowing when firmness is required and when kindness can be employed as a weapon of influence. You become a force that is neither blindly cruel nor naively soft. You act with intentionality. You spare those whose loyalty can be reinforced, and you restrain those whose betrayal is inevitable. You understand that a well-placed act of leniency can inspire devotion, while indiscriminate forgiveness invites exploitation. You learn to observe human nature with ruthless clarity and to respond with measured precision. Machiavelli reminds us that the world is unforgiving to those who do not enforce boundaries. It is indifferent to sentimentality and unbound compassion. Generosity alone cannot protect you. Morality alone cannot shield you. Only strategy, foresight, and the disciplined application of mercy can create stability in a world designed to test your limits. To be merciful without losing power, you must see the intentions behind actions, anticipate consequences, and act with the firmness that ensures your position remains unassailable. Mercy without boundaries is chaos disguised as virtue, a road that leads to betrayal and devastation, and a lesson in why the strong always survive while the soft are consumed. Stone-like resilience is the shield against manipulation. Machiavelli understood that the world is not a place of fairness or courtesy, but a battlefield of interests, desires, and ambitions. Most people operate on advantage, not principle. They follow strength, not loyalty. They align themselves not with virtue, but with opportunity. This is why those who fail to fortify themselves become easily bent, swayed, or shattered by the whims of others. The soft are pushed aside, the indecisive are manipulated, the emotional are enslaved. But those who cultivate resilience, who build themselves like stone, gain something far more powerful than charm or persuasion. They gain untouchability. Resilience begins within. It is not simply the ability to endure external pressures, it is the internal mastery that renders outside forces ineffective. Think of a stone in a raging river. The water pounds against it, beats on it, tries to move it downstream, but the stone does not yield, it does not fight, it does not resist violently, it simply exists with an inner density that cannot be displaced. That is the essence of Machiavellian resilience. It is not about hardness for the sake of cruelty, it is about unshakable presence, about constructing yourself so that others cannot bend, break, or redirect you for their own gain. People will test your limits constantly. Friends, colleagues, strangers, lovers, they all do it, whether consciously or unconsciously. The moment you show uncertainty, hesitation, or vulnerability, they recognize it as an opening. They see the gap between who you are and who you project yourself to be, and they will attempt to fill it with their own agenda. If you do not possess stone-like resilience, you will be molded by forces beyond your control. You will be pushed into decisions you did not intend to make. You will allow others' desires to dictate your life. The hardened, however, stand firm. They observe, they assess, they respond with precision rather than reaction. Resilience is cultivated by discipline. It is the product of consistent self-control, strategic detachment, and rigorous self-awareness. The mind that is disciplined does not leap to conclusions, does not capitulate to provocation, does not collapse under pressure. The heart may feel, the body may react, but the mind maintains command. This is the stone within, an inner foundation of clarity, purpose, and measured action. It allows you to navigate human ambition without being trapped by it, to face betrayal without being undone, to endure manipulation without surrendering your agency. Those who lack resilience often mistake their feelings for reality. A slight, a critique, a subtle betrayal, and they are destabilized. They spend energy reacting, defending, explaining, apologizing, instead of observing and strategizing. Machiavelli would remind you that energy spent reacting to others' impulses is energy lost in the pursuit of your own objectives. The hardened mind does not waste itself on emotional turbulence. It channels it, transforms it, and deploys it only when necessary. Resilience is about conserving power while projecting presence. Resilience also requires boundaries. The stone does not absorb everything. It resists selectively. It knows where to absorb impact and where to deflect. In human terms, this translates into understanding which conflicts merit engagement and which are distractions, which relationships are worth investment and which are drains, which advice or criticism has merit and which is designed to manipulate. The unresilient person allows every opinion, every emotion, every expectation to chip away at their foundation. The resilient person chooses carefully, letting only what strengthens them touch their core. Manipulation is the weapon of the unsteady. People exploit uncertainty, indecision, and inconsistency. They observe hesitation and push harder. They notice emotional volatility and twist it to their advantage. They detect over-attachment and use it as leverage. Machiavelli teaches that stone-like resilience removes these levers from the manipulator's hands. When you are unshakable, manipulative tactics lose effectiveness. Threats become empty. Persuasion becomes a dialogue rather than a chain. Influence is only possible if the recipient allows it. Resilience ensures you do not. The world is filled with those who seek to bend others to their will. Politicians, colleagues, friends, and even family can attempt to sway you when it suits them. The difference between being broken and being respected lies in the quality of your inner stone. Those who have constructed themselves with clarity, self-discipline, and measured detachment resist these pressures effortlessly. They do not rise in anger nor crumble in fear. They do not react impulsively, nor do they allow external expectations to dictate their path. They move through life guided by strategy, observation, and the immutable weight of their own authority. Stone-like resilience also commands respect. People instinctively recognize unshakable presence. They are drawn to it, they fear it, and they defer to it. The hardened individual does not need to threaten or intimidate. Their composure communicates power more effectively than words or displays ever could. To the unresilient, intimidation appears in loudness and aggression. To the resilient, it appears in quietude and permanence. The stone does not move, and in that immobility lies authority. To cultivate this resilience, you must train your mind, regulate your emotions, and define your principles. You must act with consistency, anticipate manipulation, and reinforce your boundaries continually. You must understand human nature with clarity, anticipating self-interest and opportunism in all its forms. And you must carry yourself in a way that communicates stability, calm in chaos, measured in confrontation, decisive in uncertainty. Every gesture, every word, every pause becomes part of the unshakable presence you are building. Machiavelli teaches that this form of resilience is not merely defensive, it is also offensive. When others cannot manipulate you, you gain freedom to act strategically. You can exploit openings, negotiate from strength, and influence outcomes without being controlled yourself. You do not react, you initiate. You do not follow the currents of others' whims, you create your own course. Stone-like resilience turns the world from a source of vulnerability into a field of opportunity, because nothing external can shake the foundation you have constructed. The world is not gentle, and it does not pause for the soft-hearted. Every betrayal, every manipulation, every disappointment is a reminder of a truth we often avoid. Only those who are cold as stone survive unbroken. Machiavelli's warning is not about abandoning humanity, it is about protecting it. It is about learning to navigate life with clarity, control, and unshakable presence. By hardening yourself without losing your mind, mastering your emotions without becoming numb, exercising mercy without being exploited, and building resilience like unyielding stone, you transform vulnerability into power, chaos into strategy, and weakness into unassailable authority. You cannot control the intentions of others, but you can command yourself. You cannot stop the world from testing you, but you can choose how you respond. The choice is stark, yet simple: bend, break, and be consumed, or harden, master, and endure. Those who embrace the coldness Machiavelli teaches do not merely survive, they shape the world instead of being shaped by it. In the silence of discipline, in the mastery of self, and in the firmness of will, you find the fortress no betrayal can penetrate, the shield no manipulation can crack, and the power that ensures the world does not shatter you but bends to your presence. The stone does not move, it endures. And so must you.